What the hell is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? We had a game today. It was a
We
good
did.
game.
Saturday games are weird.
They are weird. They're very weird. I thought it was Sunday all day.
Yeah, it's like you schedule, especially Chief season, football season in general. You schedule your day, your week, or whatever around football season, and then it's like, oh, by the way, the Chiefs have a Saturday game, and it just throws everything off.
Yeah, it's weird. What's up, Philip? We got Colin. We got Scott. There's some other people I can't see yet, but I'm sure you'll tell us your name in a minute. What? I want to start off by saying one thing really quick about Arizona, and then we can get into the Chiefs. Hey, what's up, Brandon? It was a great game. Matt Toon should be honestly starting for Arizona. I will say this. That kid, if you watched any part of his game, any part of it, he's got more ability than a lot of starters in the league.
Yeah. Here's my big take. I've got a couple big takeaways. One, here's the biggest winner of tonight. I want to congratulate the Arizona field and the grounds crew. Clap it up for them for not having literally the worst field of all time.
It wasn't a swamp, but it was there.
Just for you had 6 months to turn it around, and you did it. I'm so proud of you. It's just fantastic. So for that, all day, every day, you did it. You did your job, and that deserves a pat on the back. A good clap it up. The other one.
Clayton Toon. My bad. I said Matt Toon. His name's Clayton Toon. Apologize.
The other thing I want to give credit to, or not even give, the other thing I want to point out, definitely not credit. This is not credit. The other thing I want to point out is that the Cardinals are going to be a garbage fest team heading into next year. They're going to be so bad. But I don't want to take credit away from what Kansas City did today. It's still an NFL team. It's still NFL players, even if they're backups. So I've got a couple things that I want to get to. The plan for today, we're going to talk a little offense, we're going to talk a little defense, and we're going to get out of here. So quick show.
Yep. Let's I got a few players I want to honorable mentions today really quick too.
Same.
Smith Marquette. That kid is really fighting for a position on this team.
Yep.
He plays hard. He made some phenomenal catches. He broke some tackles. I have to give it to the kid. If he doesn't make the team, which I doubt he will, because Justin Ross is Justin Ross and Rashee Rice is Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
But if somebody goes down, that kid will probably be the first one they call up. He really showed me something today that was pretty damn amazing. I got to give it to him.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with his entire game.
That 44-yard reception was great.
And the play before it was great.
He's doing everything he can to show the Chiefs, the world, that he deserves some spot in this team, whether, more than likely it's going to be on a practice squad. But good for him, man. Seriously, this is what you have to do. You have an opportunity to show everything you got, put it all on the field, every stereotype or cliche that you can come up with. This is what he's doing. So good for him. 4 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown. He didn't drop a ball, which was a problem today. There were a couple of drop passes back-to-back that killed a couple of drives. So good for him. In all seriousness, maybe this is a guy that ends up getting picked up by another team and he works his way into the NFL. And this is the benefit of preseason that I think some people forget about. And good for him, seriously.
Hey, I want to get to something Colin just said, and he's right. He said, I need to say it again. Our team is ridiculously deep, but wait a minute, where's it? He had another comment. Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, there it is. I've never seen every quarterback on one team have 100+ QB rating.
Quarterback controversy? Maybe that should be the clickbait name of
Oh,
the
God.
episode. Quarterback controversy?
We'd have had 1,000 people in here. No, I got it. He's right. I mean, look, man, when you got 4 QBs that touch the field, which we never have 4 QBs in a preseason game. I mean, I don't think that's happened in the Andy Reid era with us. But all of them have a 100 plus QB rating, QBR. That's strong. You're talking, and I understand that they're backups. I get all of that. But you're still playing on an NFL field against other guys that are NFL players. Some are backups, some are not. Some are just new to the system, to Arizona's system. And they all played very well. Blaine Gabbert looked really good. Buechele looked really good. I can't pronounce the other guy's name, but he looks really good. Starts with an O.
Yeah.
We'll
just call Chris is his first name. We'll just call him Chris.
Let's just call him CO.
Until I hear his name being pronounced, I'm going to call him Chris.
Numerous times. It has to be numerous times.
It's like Felix Anudike Uzama. I need to hear that from multiple people before I feel confident saying it.
Absolutely. But they all look good. They all played very well. And for us to have the theme of this show should have been depth, and more depth. Because we have depth everywhere. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but holy shit. We got some fucking depth, people. We're in depth heaven. I mean, I would not want to be a coach in this system when it comes to cut down day.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say with that part. But let's move on because we got some other things to talk about. We got a few comments here. Let's just get to them real quick because I don't want to leave anybody out. What did Philip say here? He said, I wrote about Clayton Tune being a potential guy for the Chiefs to look at as a competition for Buechele. Hey, that kid, I'm sorry, but he's better than Buechele. He's got, and I agree with you, Philip, he's got great footwork. He's very mobile, very fast, and is not afraid to take a chance. And I like that about him. I was really impressed with his entire game. He did a great job. If I was Kyler Murray right now, I know he's getting paid, but this kid has the tangibles to take his job because that team sucks. And he made them look better tonight than Kyler has made them look in a year. I'm just saying. He's got everything, and he's tall. Kyler's like, what, 4'9", 4'10"? This kid's got the height, he's got the strength, and he's got a lot of fucking talent. Great awareness, made some phenomenal passes, high football IQ. I don't know. I'm just very, very I was impressed with the kid. I really was. Who's next?
I have
Philip
two.
Said, go ahead.
I have two offensive players I want to talk about, and then that's it. So you want to let's go through the comments here, but then when we talk about the offense, I have two players I want to highlight, and then we can move on.
All right, that didn't help at all, Philip. By the way, because I still don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's not really spelled out phonetically there.
No. I mean, if you want to, like, send it in a text, a voice text, and I'll just repeat it over and over again until I get it. But thank you. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Quentin?
I want to start off with Rashee Rice. I think there's a chance that, look, the talent is there, obviously, and I think when he was drafted, we talked about the talent level there. It's clear, right? Explosive, can catch the ball. Once again, there was another short pass that he was able to turn something from nothing into something. Great. He did have a drop pass, but that was a problem throughout the entire offensive. Every position had guys drop passes. So, look, this was another good game from him. And he was the leading receiver, had 9 targets, 8 receptions, 96 yards with that big 40-yard catch. Just looked good. I mean, there's not a lot of analytics that I can talk about. I mean, just the eyeball test. Rashee Rice just looked good. It's as simple as that. And that's positive. I don't think he doesn't move himself up in my wide receiver ranking, but he gives me more confidence in him. He gives me more confidence in the system. It allows me to look at him and say, okay, in a moment, if I need him, if there's a horrible situation like the AFC Championship game where we got to almost pull guys from the stands to play wide receiver, I got this guy. He's understanding the system. He can play multiple positions because he did today. So Rashee
Picked it up
Rice is
very well too.
up in the system. Good job, Rashee Rice. You are progressing faster than what I thought you would. The explosiveness on the field is translating well. Rashee Rice is my player of the game.
Okay, now I'm glad that is. Now I want you to do me a favor, and you have to do it.
Okay.
You have to give Justin Ross his props.
I mean, 2 catches.
It doesn't matter. Those were great catches, and they were phenomenal routes.
I will say this.
His route running ability is sick.
I mean, two drops isn't great, but
one of them was a terrible pass. I mean,
the reception that he had, that he was able to get more than probably some other guys could have, right? That big, I don't remember how much it was, but he was able to get the first down up along the sideline, was good. I'll say that. Look, I'm not a hack, right? Like, I'll tell you when I'm wrong. And I was like, that's a good play by Justin Ross.
Thank you, Philip. Because he absolutely missed him on a wide open touchdown. And that route was sick. He ran a beautiful route, and Gabbert missed him. He overthrew him. Nobody could have caught it. But that was a sick route he ran. He was good. He's good. I'm telling you. Bootle, we'll get to the defense in a few minutes, dude. But yeah, I want to talk about him. I agree with you. He's picked up the playbook so well.
Yeah.
I think all of them have picked up the playbook really well. But if you noticed, you had first team guys that dropped passes. You had second team guys that dropped a couple passes or missed a couple. I don't want to say dropped. They missed. Could have been from an overthrown ball. Could have been from, getting bumped. One of them, he was bumped. There was a hold that was missed. That's a terrible ref crew. They were terrible for both sides, mainly against us, it seemed like. But regardless, they all had some miscues. But for the most part, a 38-10 win and everybody scoring except for the last quarterback that came in for a whole 5-6 minutes. It wasn't like he played an enormous amount of time. I think they all looked really good. They all played their part. I don't know if I could even ask for much more. Who looked better today? Let's bring him up because everybody was doubting him last week. Is Prince. Prince was running.
That's my
harder.
Second guy.
Yeah. He was running harder. He was running with more intensity. His vision was better this week. I'm happy with what I seen out of him or what I saw out of him. I was happy.
All right. I got to respond to that. Philip, I hear you. Okay. I still think you're crazy about the all rookie honors. All right. I still think you're a little far out there. But I'll give you some space. I'm moving closer. I'll give you that. I'm moving closer. I am willing to admit when I'm wrong. New information comes to me. Okay, I'm not whatever.
If he gets all rookie honors, you're buying Philip dinner.
Hey, if he gets all rookie honors, I will come on this show and I will say you are 100% correct. Okay,
and if I'm send Philip a gift card,
dude,
very
if
nice
I'm wrong, it's not like it's a bad thing. That means we had an amazing draft pick. Like it's not a bad thing. Okay, so if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. And I just think it's reasonable to believe that he's progressed in a system that has been for 20 years talked about how difficult it is to learn. And then he comes in and starts to at least seem to pick it up quickly. I think it's fair to say that he's progressed pretty quickly. And I know you're messing with me, Philip. Philip, we good. But I think it's great to see. So I want to move in to Prince. I've got a little bit of a take here. And I just need you to listen before you respond. Okay?
All right, I'm listening.
Generic Prince today reminded me of Niall Davis. Now,
Yes.
I know Niall Davis was used a lot in a receiving situation, and Deneric Prince didn't get a single pass in college. However, Deneric Prince catches the ball out of the flat like Niall Davis did. And Niall Davis was used as a like in between the guard kind of running back, big, sort of stocky kind of running back. Deneric Prince and Niall Davis. What are your thoughts on? I want to hear the comment section of, because I was literally thinking about this in the third quarter. This is sort of a new.
While they're answering you, I'm going to answer this because I agree. And last year during the season we compared Pacheco to Niles Davis. We compared him because of his hard running ability. The only thing that he didn't really have last year that he picked up at the end of the year was his pass catching ability. But Prince picked up catching so quickly for a kid that never caught a ball in college.
Yeah.
It blew me out of the water. And I agree with you. He's a beast, an absolute beast. Look, man, they had Clyde in for a little bit. They pulled him out. We're going to see that. But I feel like it's going to, and by the way, McKinnon steps in, just makes himself look phenomenal like he always does. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I feel like I agree with you. I feel like he's going to take Clyde's spot. I think Clyde's an insurance policy right now, and that's all he is. That's all he is. So I 100% agree with you. Now, what's Philip saying here?
Look, it's literally, it's something that came to me, half an hour ago? This is a thought that I'm just starting to come up with. So I wanted to, throw it out there and just see what people think. So
yeah. And Philip sees it. Yep. I mean, this kid. I mean, you see what Philip said. I believe if Prince ran behind the first team line, he get a lot more 10+ yard runs and more. I agree with you. He's running it behind guys that aren't, acclimated yet. I guess if that's a good word to use. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys on that one, 100%.
Okay, you got any other offensive players you want to point out?
Watson stepped out of nowhere, made a hell of a catch.
Yeah.
Our tight end, again, two different tight ends, made great catches. What's his name? Buck. What the hell's his name, dude? That fourth tight end we got. The fourth one. Bushman. He made a good catch, but then also so did Noah Gray. Man, this team scares me a little bit just because of the talent level given the youth. That should scare a lot of people, but it's freaking weird how well they've kind of grasped the offense in such a short amount of time. It's amazing to me. I'm extremely excited. One thing I will say prior to we end on the offense really quick. So for some ungodly, ignorant fucking reason, the West Coast decided to play the Chicago Bears and the Vikings game instead of on NFL Network instead of an Arizona game, which is West Coast, whatever. So I watched this on NFL Plus, streamed through my TV. This was the announcers in Arizona speaking. One of them sounds like he had been hit in the head way too many times. Extremely just out of it. Didn't have a good thing really to say about Tune. All he kept talking about was how great Kyler Murray was. I don't know where he was coming from with that. But the other announcer said, well, it looks like Justin Ross is still out on the field, so he must really be fighting for that roster spot. He's got a roster spot. He's not making the roster. It's going to happen. Yes, he may be ranked or 7th on the depth chart right now, but he's definitely going to be that 7th wide receiver right now. I don't know why these the commentators don't really. They kind of reminded me of the end of Tony Romo there for a while, where they just didn't follow up and pay attention to who they were playing and go back and look at what they did the prior week or anything about these players. They just spoke out their ass. I wanted to get that out of the way because they really, there's been some really bad takes that have come out of Arizona over the last couple of years. Twitter commentators, whoever it may be, it's getting worse. I don't know if they're having a hard time hiring people. I really don't know what the situation is there. Maybe it's just because of the franchise situation. I have no clue. Maybe nobody wants to really be a commentator for that team. But they have to fix that issue because they really don't know what they're talking about. And a lot of it had to do with their own players. They were calling out players' names that don't play for the team because of the number they were wearing. Because that player may have been, wearing the same number as somebody did last year that is no longer with the team, or the year before. They got to do something about that. We can move on. What do you say? Let's see. Colin, where you at? Oh, he said, I see it a little bit. He reminds me more of a Charles, just the way he runs a little bit. Charles was a lot faster. I see a little bit of that, but I could tell you that Charles is a hell of a lot faster and had a lot more football IQ at this level. Charles came out of the chute like a veteran. That was the difference, I think, there. But he said they're advertising CH for a trade. In my opinion, before the game on Action 41, they were talking him up as a trade bait. Someone at CF has been talking about this. Yeah, that would have been me. I tend to agree with you, but I think they're also there's no doubt they're doing that. But in the same aspect, I think they're also putting a little bit of pressure on Prince to perform so they can make that trade. Prince has already proven that he's not injury prone, that he's growing, he's learning. So I think that this third preseason game will kind of solidify that. But I agree with you. It's going to happen. The trade's going to end up happening. And if it doesn't happen, fairly quickly, look, they got to pay him whether they keep him or cut him. No matter what. He's getting $2 million. So they might as well trade him off and try to get, that bag of Fritos and a Diet Coke or whatever they can get for him and move forward. If they can trade him for another player, great. Even if it's a practice squad player, it's better than – we need the roster spot. We just do. Moving on to the defense. What do you got to say there?
Once again, I've got really two players. One really quickly. I just want to point out Jamari Connor again. He was there. He was making a lot of plays. Guy that played both that safety cornerback role. Once again, I wrote my article about this earlier in the week, so you can go check that out. Jamari Connor is the next L'Jarius Sneed. Sneed is not going to re-sign with this team. Jamari Connor's taken over that role, and he's going to continue to prove it. I really do believe that. And in this preseason game, much like last week, that's the way he's playing.
I agree with you. I felt like he has solidified his spot on this team.
Yeah.
He's making extremely good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely happy with everything he's done. I don't know what else. There's not much more you can say about this kid.
There's not much to say, but just point it out. I mean, Jamari Connor is the next L'Jarius Sneed. Sneed will play this year, and he's out. Yeah, that's why you should care about Jamari Connor, because he's going to be that next role, and it's going to upset a lot of fans because a lot of people like L'Jarius Sneed. A lot of people, I know a couple people that have bought L'Jarius Sneed jerseys. Jamari Connor's the next Sneed. Get on board. Get on board, because otherwise you're going to be upset. So the other player, you want to go ahead?
No, I said I agree. I mean, the only thing I would say to that is you might want to consider waiting until you know that they're on their second contract before you buy jerseys anymore, because we're a turnover machine to a degree, because we're bringing in so much good talent.
The other guy that I want to point out, and I think is a guy we talked about during the Saints game. I don't remember. I think we did. Cole Christensen. Once again, a linebacker. He's the number 4, number 5 linebacker. And the reason you should care about this, what does this mean? Once again, this affects Willie Gay, right? You've got, 2 or 3 linebackers that are looking to be number 2 linebackers next year. You've got Cole Christensen, Leo Chenal, Drew Tranquill, right? Ton of depth at the linebacker position. And why should you care about this? Well, one of these linebackers is taking over the Willie Gay spot next year. If just one of these 3 is good enough to take over the number 2 spot on the linebacker spot, Willie Gay is not going to be here. And the way that they're playing, I wrote an article about why the Drew Tranquill signing matters and what he did last week. We all know what Leo Chenal was and is and how he played towards the end of the season last year and how much the Chiefs like to use him as the number 3 linebacker, covering tight ends, etc. And now Cole Christensen has showed up in 2 preseason games and has showed up in camp and is earning himself a spot on this roster. So it looks like, based on just the roster situation, is that at the end of the year, it looks like Willie Gay is going to be on the way out. I can't tell you which one's going to be the number 2 guy next year, but it's going to be one of these. It's going to be one of these 3 guys moving forward. And just keep an eye on him. Cole Christensen led the team in tackles today. Just keep an eye out. He's the guy that I want to point out on the defense today.
Okay. I agree with you. He looked really good. I want to bring up, well, first of all, I got to bring up Danny Shelton, because Danny is, as much as people downed him and thought he was slow, this, that, and the other, talked about it last week, I'll talk about it again. He was pancaking people. He stopped the run.
Just a beast.
God, he's so fucking big. And he's so agile for a guy that big. I mean, it's amazing. He's like the supersized me of, what's his name that played for us last year? That was just so agile that did backflips. Now he's with the Saints.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name right now. Colin Saunders. I mean, he moves very well. He's got extreme, very, very good vision. Can read the plays very well. Gets in the backfield. My criticism right now is with the edges, the second and third string edges that we had out there. I'm going to say this. They kind of reminded me of how Karlaftis looked at the beginning of the season last year, but not nearly the motor or the mindset to get back up and get back to the play. When they ran the blitzes today, they overshot the quarterback 4 times. All 4 times, they just blasted through, didn't make the cut, didn't even have a 30-degree angle towards the quarterback. I mean, they had no angle towards him. It was a straight shot. Thought they were going to loop around and get him. Wasn't going to happen. That kid is too quick. Then they should have noticed this very quickly as the game progressed, as how mobile he was. And yet they still didn't adjust to try and make that cut in instead of try to loop around and come back after him, because you can't do that with him. There's quarterbacks out there you just can't do it with. He's one of them. There's a lot of them. But they have got to get that under control. Other than that, I think Shamari Connors just was phenomenal. And, trying to think of his name right now, young kid. The safety. Why can't I think of his name right now?
You're giving me nothing. Brian.
His name is slipping my mind right now, and I don't know why it is. But he played very well. He was only out there he was out there the third and fourth quarter, and he played very well both times. He's a corner. I'm sorry. He's a corner. Is it Jack Coltrane? Is that his name?
I don't know who you're. I mean, there's
I can't think of his name. He's a corner, but
Bodie guy.
No, it
That
wasn't Boodle.
not brutal.
No, Boodle to me, look, that's another kind of a little slight I have right now. Boodle has been on and off this team, I think going on 3 years now. And there's a reason why he's been on and off the team. Today he kind of proved it again. There's just times that he's just not paying attention. I don't even think it's a lack of intelligence. I don't think it's a lack of football IQ or even knowing what's going on. I think it's just the fact that he's not paying attention. And I feel like he's probably got himself a nice little seat on the practice squad, coming up pretty quick. I wish I could remember this kid's name. Philip Halassi. Thank you. God dang it. That kid, son of a bitch. That kid there is good. Did you see anything that he did tonight? I mean, anything.
He had a
He
couple
was
of. He was involved in a
everywhere.
lot of, close coverage. Unfortunately, he's not gonna. The stuff that he did isn't gonna show up on the stat sheet, just because
No.
you don't get a close coverage stat. But yeah,
No,
it's got
but
to keep your eye on too. It's
his
a good point to
blanket
bring up.
coverage is amazing to me. He doesn't draw penalties, but yet he keeps everybody at bay. I love that kid. I really like the way he plays. He said he reminds me of Travarius Ward. He does. He is like a lot like Ward. He's not that guy that is the ball hawk, although he can be. He's a blanket coverage guy. He just covers everybody. I really like the way he plays. He amazing player for as young as he is, and being able to read the wide receiver and the quarterback and multiple players at the same time, and still being able to blanket the way he does is phenomenal to me. I was just excited with the way he played the game. Hey, let's talk about something really quick before we get off this. The first team actually looked pretty damn good. Everybody complained about the first team last week, if you remember. I mean, oh god, they sucked. It came out flat. They didn't want to play. They looked pretty good. Mahomes looked good. Everybody looked good. Leo Chenal is always around the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Linebacker core. That's what I'm saying.
God
Focus on the
dang,
linebacker
that
core.
dude. That dude's
All
always around the ball. He's a first, second string guy. But man, he is always around the ball. And I noticed it more today than I even did, I think, last year. But he's just right there all the time. If it's a short yardage pass or a run play, he's there. And he's on top of it. And I was pretty impressed with him as well. That's really about all I got. I mean, Danny Shelton, I'm happy for the guy. I know he's going to make. Well, he was ranked second on the depth chart about what, a month and a half ago.
Yeah. They play two defensive tackles, so he'll get some playing time.
Yeah. So I think he's definitely a guy that people need to keep an eye on. I know he's 28 years old, but he's good, and he's very very athletic for a man of 330 pounds. He's just a big monster of a guy. And again, they had to actually go out and have his jerseys like custom made because there's no company out there that just makes them for a guy that big. It's kind of impossible to find some. Probably got some lady in the back room sewing two or three together at one time, but got like 80-inch shoulders. But God, he's just a monster. Very proud of the way he played. I think he's trying to make a statement as well. It's not nearly the statement that he wants to make, but I get what he's doing, and I don't blame him for doing it. If we need a starter for any, which is not going to happen, but if we needed a starter, he's that guy. He can start and play in that position. I have no doubt. Okay, real quick, before we end the show, everybody's still on here. I want you to listen. Go on to your phones while we're on the thing. Get into your app store, especially if you have a iPhone right now. Go in there, type in Hold on, I'll find it for you. 1 second. PSF. So that's Peter, Sam, Frank. Type that in to your phone. Download the app. So I got an invitation. Somebody asked me by the name of Sean Salisbury. Used to be a quarterback in the NFL. Now he's been an ESPN analyst. He has his own radio shows. He does a lot of different things. Anyway, he asked if I would do a weekly play-by-play show for him with not only myself, but there's going to be some pro players, former pro players, national analyst on that will do this with me. Now, this is a different style of, it's like a Manning cast is basically what it's designed, but it's unfiltered. It's a really cool design that he come up with. If you look at the app, you'll see why. This is audio and video. So you will be able to see us. We'll be able to see whoever wants to be on the video part of it. It will be live play-by-play during the entire game, every game for the 17 weeks. And we're going to do a midweek show, which will be on Wednesdays. It is going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of cool people on there. It's I've been telling people it's like Spaces on steroids. The difference is that you got a lot more interaction. Again, it's visual. It's a play-by-play, so you can do it through the entire game. For anybody that doesn't get the game, doesn't want to listen to a boring sports analyst, you're going to have a lot of fun on this app. So go on your phones, download it really quick. Go to Chiefs Fans, and then go to Chiefs Unfiltered Chiefs Focus, and just follow it. That's all you got to do. Turn your notifications on. Make sure you do that because we will be doing those shows starting week 1. We may do a test run next weekend for the last preseason game just to see how it works out, get the feel of things. And I've got to set that up before I do that. But we're going to have some cool graphics. You guys can put videos in there. You can put GIFs in there. There's so many different things that are going to come along with it. It's a blast. So make sure you go in and download that app today. Get in early because soon it's going to be full. With that being said, what else we got, Quentin?
That's it for me. We'll talk more in depth about this on Tuesday. Just want to make this a shorter show, so make sure you come back on Tuesday, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other players. But we just wanted to give the quick highlights today.
Yes, just a quick post-game show. Very happy with the team. Very happy with everything that came out of it, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. Peace out.